led by the director of our disaster, Director Rudy Incabo, to assist the local government unit of Batanes. So far, we have already procured with the NFA 88,000 bags of rice for augmentation, and we have already sent 5,000 family food packs to Region 2 for the augmentation of the typhoon.
Let me ask you this question, everybody. Are you in constant communications with everyone? I mean, do you make periodic reports to somebody aside from the
on the part of the Department of Transportation, Mr. President, we are in constant communication with Yusek Halad. Kasi nga, binuo nila nga ho yung membership ng NDRRM, kaya nagkakaroon ng coordination. In fact, having said this, just to emphasize that coordinations are being made and to address the query earlier raised by Secretary Del. Doon sa Coast Guard, meron na ba mga equipment or vessels or crafts that are available? In fact, this morning, sir, nag-submit na kami ng complete list ng mga vessels or craft or even aircraft na available on call where they are situated. We also submitted pati yung mga first aid equipments, even how many teams are available on call. Ito ho, at least sa transportation, yung coordination namin ay nakalatag doon. Yun ho yung sagot ko sa katanungan, are we in constant communication?
Mr. President, Mr. President, kung yung NDRMC is on red alert, sir, like what you consider now, all the agencies here are represented there. Meron sila tao dyan for better coordination. So, nandiyan sila lahat 24 hours a day during the typhoon. So that kung ano man kailangan sa mga agencies nila, meron silang contact agad dun sa agencies nila. So, we have that.
Yeah, I was just asking about the centrality of the communication.
Okay. Meron pong nakadesignate sa amin na isang tao lang na overall in charge. Siya naman na mag-coordinate sa aming kagawaran. Si Manny yung sa amin, si General Manny Gonzales.
May I ask Attorney Tolentino, si Francis, just to be my conduit. I may be around somewhere. I may decide to go out. I really do not know. So tayo na lang. In my behalf, just gather the information that are available, the things that we wanted to know along the way while the typhoon is in progress. Dito, ikaw na lang ang conduit ko sa kanila. Para isa lang, then I can have the whole gamut of information. So, gano'n lang ang representing the office of the President. Kasi wala ako, cut off ako kasi I have not made any calls actually, historically. I have not made any telephone or phone call to you until now. So kaya ikaw na lang. Yes.
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, one question lang sa NDRRMC. Nung Senate investigation kasi dun sa Yolanda, di ba natuklasan natin that the military and the NDRRMC only had less than 20 satellite phones and was sharing it. So nung bumaksak yung communication sa Leyte and Samar, walang makakontak kasi walang available satellite phone. So I just like to know kung meron, because since we have 24 or 48 hours to go, pwede tayo magpadala ng satellite phones kung kulang pa rin yung nandun. Mr. President, readily available naman, but actually after Yolanda, we are supposed to have purchased more sa lahat ng government agencies. That's why I just want to ask, meron na ba ang...
Are these equipments with somebody, with the agency?
Sir, we rely on the communication equipment of the different agencies. We at OCD, all regional offices have satellite phones. They also have portable data communication via satellite. So our operation center is connected to the different regional offices of the OCD, which houses the Operation Center of the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council. In the event the telco is down, we have backup data communication via satellite. But we can say so, our connectivity with the LGUs, because they are supposed to procure their own satellite phones. But some of the LGUs have their own backup communication in the form of radio, XF radio. And they can connect with the AFP if their radios are compatible with the PNP. So in the restoration of, or in order to give us situational awareness on the ground there, in the scenario that the telcos are down, we organize rapid emergency telecom teams. It's kind of bayanan spirit here, wherein we tap various agencies, including volunteer organizations with radio, form them as a team to provide support from the ground to the national level. But we really have to establish really a communication connectivity within the government, all government machinery.
President, just on that point, just to share, kasi yung finding ng committee nun, number one, since nga cellphones are kalat na, very minimal people have radio and satellite phones. So nung nawala yung telco, talagang silence, pati sa Facebook. No? Number two, dun sa meron, they did not have backup batteries. So even if they had satellite phones, after 24 hours, Mr. President, hindi na nila ma-recharge. No? Thirdly, yung Facebook became very important in locating relatives. So not only the signal but the internet connections. So, but I think, Mr. President, this has been dealt with naman by the NDRRMC after Yolanda. But just to reiterate it, just sakali po yun ang mawala.
In addition, Mr. President, we also tap the telcos. They have various equipment which we call portable cell sites and cell site on wheels. And actually, we made them participate in our meetings here. I don't know if they're here, but we usually make use of them so that we are connected to select areas.
I suggest that there is one line for all government agencies, including the Department of Defense, but another line for just the military and the uniform police. Mayroon silang, they have their own. But I think that we should by this time have one only para isang tawagan lang. And if you can work on that, maybe towards the end of the year, next year we can have it. Gusto ko dalawa. Kung pakialaman yung military pati police, because just that one line, but they can connect with the line for all departments. So kanya-kanya kayong may. Ako I prefer itong radyo pati. Yung cellphone pagka tinamaan ng bagyo, wala na eh. And I hate to see this, even during the operations of police. I don't know about the military. They've been using itong cell phones. I've objected to that several times kasi you have to your own radio communications, not relying sa una-una na hack yan. Pangalawa, you use it in operations and then they start to blow up the whole things there, yung mga relay stations, maging inutil. And during a crisis, actually, the truth is, pag napuno yung tawagan, nag-overheat ang cellphone. Di ka na makapass off. So, it's well now impossible really to be, to say connectivity when there will be gaps somewhere, interruptions. Kasi pag napuno yung linya, nagdadaya lahat, just like yung baha dito sa Marikina, would no longer move forward all because of the lines were burning and cannot be used anymore. Pag-aralan lang daw ninyo one central for all government based there and another line for you connect with the military but not necessarily enter into their apparatus. Yung isang tawagan lang to the chief of staff, maybe the major commanders, and itong mga important kaya ng Mindanao. Kasi pag may putok doon, explosion, wala na. Talang babag down yan. And we are no longer capable of connecting with each other. That's the real truth. And that is the same that happens and again and again, again and again, yung mga pangyayari sa probinsya. So do not rely on the commercial cell phones because they can be depended upon. Delikado. So, yung sa military, they have their own. All you have to do is one line to connect. So parang centrality, if it's just hindi naman gira to, if it's just a crisis of typhoons and everything, madali na lang ipasa sa lahat. And I would advise each department to have one. Yung ano lang, para mabilis. And I would like to advise you again, from my experience, that during crisis and a bedlam, you cannot rely on yung cellphone hindi talaga pwede. Mababara ka dyan, and time is of the essence, especially if it is a crisis. Man-made or whatever. So yun ang ano ko, we work on that. Hindi naman mahal yan. During my during the 50s, ang tatay ko may isang linya lang sa opisina niya sa provincial government. Parang ganun, and I want you to work on that because that is something that we have failed to realize actually. The use of cell phones is becomes inutile at a certain level of
If I may, Mr. President, actually the ICT has ongoing project which is under procurement stage here. It is known as Government Emergency Communication System. Maybe the rep from the ICT can explain on that.
who's handling it.
Yes,
The ICT, sir.
Okay.
The Government Emergency Communication System, or GEX.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have ordered the BOC, the Bureau of Customs, to release to the DSWD all of the seized food items, including rice, for the emergency purposes.
Okay, so, nasabihan mo na.
Yeah, sabihin.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. And that's really our practice. As soon as we seize it, we release it to the DSWD. So they will be getting not only the rice, but if we have seized any smuggled canned goods, we will give it to them.
Judge Mato, you were raising your hand, sir. You want to say something?
Yes, the strength of the typhoon is really very strong for it seems that the Northern Luzon and Cagayan will be isolated for quite some time, even weeks probably, because the road going there might be closed for several weeks. The Sabela Road and the Locos Road might be closed of landslide and flooding. The rain really is very grabe yung rain na darating, so flooding and landslide po ito. So it means that yung plano yata dito ay daanan sa Isabela, hindi na makakadaan yan. Yung sinabi kanina pong Clark going to the north, ano na yan, close na yan. Probably several days or weeks, close po ito. All electric, mostly electricity will be out for several days and weeks. Yung towers, yung wires po mo, maraming mga kahoy dyan matatamaan yan. So brown out ang matagal-tagal, including probably Manila because yung electricity nang gagaling po, ayun maraming manggagaling sa Northern Luzon yung kuryente papunta rito. So affected po rin yan. Now itong the next option na mangyayari will be yung kung ma-preposition naman yata yung ating mga supplies at saka foodstuff. Naka-preposition naman yata na ito. Kailangan talaga maka-preposition doon kasi yung by boat naman, by ship naman, kung malakas pa rin ng dito sa Northern Luzon sa kaliwa, ay hindi talaga pwede makadaan yung boat natin dyan, mga ship pa. So, by plane naman ito pag medyo kumalma na. There will be two airports na mangyayari, Ilocos doon sa Lawag and Tuguegarao at saka yung sa may Kawayan, Kabela. And we have to be available on our C-130s. Ito talaga the only way na tayo will be C-130s. So we have to maximize yung C-130s talaga. And of course, mga Ilocano naman, sanay na rin ito sa mga isolated, pero hindi makakatagal rin yan, sir. Siguro mga 3 days, 4 days, meron pa naman sila mga dyan. But kung abutin ng mga 10 days or more na isolated sila, medyo magwo-worry, sir, tayo doon. All cell phones, cell sites, matatamaan yan. Electricity, matatamaan yan. Kaya yung very vital po yung satellite phone. Yung kukulangin tayo sa kuryente yan, sigurado matatapol down lahat ng mga kuryente dyan So, isolated brownout ang Ilocos ba. So, we have to be, we have to be prepared for this. Yung naman, yung DNR, participation naman natin sa DNR dito is yung pag matatapol down yung mga kahoy, barado yung kalsada. So, we have alerted our mga DNR personnel kasi every province meron akong DNR personnel po So, yung tutulong sila sa pagputol ng kahoy yung mga natumba po sa kalsada. Kasi doon nangyari doon sa sa Yolanda hindi makadaan yung mga sasakyan kasi hindi makadaan sa dahil sa naputol na mga kahoy. So we have some provisions for this. In-alert ko na po yung mga sa amin sa DNR. So yun lang po ang aking may...
Actually, any crisis, you have to reckon with the Morpheus law. We have the estimates and we have the projections and the reckonings and all. But we would not, it ain't there until it is there. So, pagka ganon, anything can go wrong outside of the projection or sudden shift of the idiot, the typhoon crawling towards North Luzon. So the best way to proposition, the most accurate way of finding out ano talaga ang nangyari is for Tugade, who comes from Cagayan, and Bello comes from Isabela, to go there now. And the province. How is that?
President, I was talking to Secretary Tolentino. I said, I think the President would designate at least 6 cabinet members to be in these areas of possible calamity, Mr. President. Para may mukha kayo doon sa areas na yon. Your presence must be felt there, Mr. President, through your cabinet members.
Hindi na kailangan ko. So,
hindi lang kami, Mr. President.
In succession, ay total yung trabaho naman niyo really germane or very intimately connected with the wherewithals ng typhoon. You could go there to your you have never been to Cagayan ever since, matagal na. No, sigurado ang roads will be clogged as Mark and of course
Yes, sir. In fact, sir, nakaschedule na ako sa Tuesday next week.
puta na tao mo sa Ilonggo nga. Tapos na yun. Hindi mo paluma
Mr. President.
Ilonggo, prepared na.
Dili sa karon, sir, kaya basta magsag ang helicopter.
Then maybe Roy and General Halad. General si Mato, General Halad. Mayroon ka naman dito. So long as pagkatapos ng bagyo, huwag naman pumunta ng bagyo. After, tapos you have to be there because I said there's so many things. Anything can go go wrong, as it will go wrong, not to our expectations, not within our projections, not included in our forecasts. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, Roy, 5, General Halad also business.
Mr. President,
Oh, si, ano,
sa education.
ay, ikaw ma'am, okay ka na. Wala ka na lang.
You know, last year I went to Isabela, to Cagaraw, and to Cagayan. I also went to Catanduanes. Wherever
Pero
there
taga
is...
Cebu yan si mama, tignan mo kung saan siya
Oo,
umabot.
lahat na, pati
The
Surigao.
love for
Surigao.
your fellow men.
Yes. Mr. President, the Department of Education is responsible for the most vulnerable of possible victims, and these are the learners. We estimate that about 7 million learners will be affected. So we expect 7.7 million learners to be affected by this set of typhoons. So we are also preparing. In terms of monitoring, perhaps kasi kami level of affected. So we have initiated a tracking system. We are tracking all of them, and we have instructed them to stay put, especially during the weekend. So we are coming up to the level of the school. We have the principals, the division superintendents. Lahat, we have initiated a tracking system. We are tracking all of them to the different schools. And kung we have buffer stocks sa ating ibang agencies in terms of food, ang aming buffer naman ay ang learning materials, ang mga books kasi nasisira yan, mga computers, etc. Yes, nagpa-preposition rin kami.
Yung ano sa bata.
Mga books nila masisira. And we'd also like to reiterate our proposal, Mr. President, na perhaps we can minimize the use of the school buildings as evacuation centers, because the children have to make do with temporary learning shelters, which all, of course, exposes them to greater risk. So we're glad na hindi masyadong marami ngayon na schools gagamitin. Minomonitor namin yan. And we also have already prepared, of course, the funds which might be necessary. Pero yung monitoring is very thorough and comprehensive, because down to the level of the principal, we are in touch with all of them. We are tracking them. We're telling them to not to go off on holidays. Those abroad, they go home so that they keep watch over their respective constituencies. And these are the children which have to be kept safe and healthy, Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am. I distinctly remember talking about the situation doon sa Naga. Tayo ni Tony Tolentino that it's about time that we build yung semento temporary shelters that can be used by the people during, kasi ang ano ko dyan, may misgiving, ang mga bata na puputol for the longer they stay in the school, the longer would be the disturbance of the education of the children.
Also
It's
true,
about
Mr.
time
President.
that General Halad thinks of this. Yun talagang mga frontliners na lugar, Leyte, Samar, itong Cagayan, Isabela. Makagawa mo lang tayo parang gym, puro simento. Parang gym lang with so many, perhaps 10 CRs for women and 10 iwalay mo lang, babae, lalaki. Parang simple lang na with strong, I think you have to use the metal. Iron. Parang gym lang. Habaan mo lang yung upuan para and if we can build about siguro baski 14 muna next year, early next year, kung masali natin sa mahabol sa budget. Kailangan talaga para ang mga pasunog, ganun rin. So calamities sa our way, sunog, baha, fighting in some area.
Sa Baguio. Baguio.
Isipan mo daw yan na give me a position later and I will work on it. The budget.
Actually, sir, there is an ongoing project by DPWH, Evacuation Center Project. We might just have to, rethink the concept, sir, because actually there are already many evacuation centers inaugurated lately under the project of DPWH. So, baka kailangan lang baguhin talaga yung concept.
That's good. That's actually using our head. Kasi every time that there's a crisis, automatically kasali yung mga bata na walang pakialam.
At saka
And it really causes a disturbance sa flow ng education.
At saka siguro dagdagan yung budget, sir, kasi currently ang budget ng DPWH for that is 3 evacuation centers per region. So we might have to rethink that concept. Baka mag-focus tayo doon sa mas vulnerable, hindi yung prorated na 3 per region.
So it is agreed that all the Ilocanos would go home.
Yes, sir. Sir, mag-press briefing din ako.
Except Ilonggo.
Sir, to clarify again your earlier instructions, we'll report to you daily. We just want to request that we have opcoin of some agencies, especially the regional directors of health, public works, DSWD, transportation, and DepEd, similar to what we did in Albay. I will set up camp tomorrow in regional office PNP, Tugigaraw. And if the other cabinet members will join, Secretary Tugade and Secretary Bello, we request that Secretary Lorenzana fly us into Tugigaraw tomorrow morning.
Ang problema kay Art, Tugade, hindi umuwi ng Cagayan, traso siguro doon. Nanganak naman
sa PNP, sir.
I got heard visiting, I've been there. Sabi ko, have you seen your secretary? Sabi niya, hindi daw.
So you remember this is almost 2 years that they went to
Lawid.
No. Nandun ka ba noon? Wala. What is your bias against your province?
Sir, and we'll just hopefully submit a terminal report on Wednesday, but the rehabilitation phase will not be part of our job description.
Wala pa yan kasi depends on how it presents itself.
So alis kami, sir, 3 bukas sa umaga. Courtesy of Secretary Lorenzana, and we'll update you daily. And Secretary Villar will also be there. So we'll set up camp in Tugigaraw, Mr. President.
Man, pakilang man, ha?
Yes, sir.
Pag madagdagan yung hangin doon, putay.
Ako na bahala doon, sir. Kasalubungin ko yung hangin, sir, para matikil. Monday na ako punta, sir, Monday. After the typhoon.
Tapos na yun.
Kaya nga, after typhoon, ano ka gusto sa gitna ng typhoon?
Sorry, yan ang standard bureau sa Lunggo. Kaya sa airport, nga sabi ko, nagkita kami. Mayor ka, gobernador rata siya. Sabi ko, go, dyan ka. Alis ako. Sabi ko, alis rin. I-delayed yung aeroplano. Sabi ko, pamasahe muna. Kasi yung mga masayista sa bulag, alam nila ang boses ko. Mayor, nandito ko pala. Sige. So, isa dito, masahe dito. Yaan ko lang kasi para magkakaroon ng pera. Sabi ko, man, dito ka, maghintay ka, marelax ka. Masahe na sa ulo yung bulag sa ulo niya. Sabi niya, Lunggo ka, sir? Oo, katit ang boses mo. Sabi niya, sino kasi Governor Pinyol ng North Cotabato, bawlinti nga, sikat ka.
Damo hangin ulo.
Sir, puta, may problema lang tayo. Bakit? Yung ulo mo, puro hangin.
Ang original version yan sa Miriam Santiago. Kawan lang yung akin. Variation lang yung akin. Ang original version yan si Miriam Santiago. Pamasahe sa airport. Sabi ng bulag, Ma'am, Ilongga ka? Sabi ni Miriam, paano mo nalaman na Ilongga ko? Kasi ma'am, maraming hangin ang ulo mo. Wala tayong problema sa bigas sa yung concern ni Sec Roy kanina. Because our rice actually is coming from Isabela. Ito, puno yung mga bodega ngayon. So wala tayong problema sa bigas. Maski magsara yung kalsada. Yes, sir.
So,
yung prepositioning lang ng mga beses. Coast Guard, napansin ko bang Manila lahat? Yung mga layo. Yung mga Coast Guard. Yung prepositioning natin.
Yung safety muna, sir.
Ay, sige. Hindi ko pa malayo.
huwag doon siya baka sayang. As far as it can.
Siya ang